This is an international live. I am from right now. I'm in Nepal in my hotel room, and there are so many foreigners. So I first I wanted to do the live class from the open area near the swimming pool, but then I thought the moment I'll start talking about English authors and also it will draw the attention of all those foreigners. Most of these foreigners are here to go for Mount Everest, and somewhere I'm also feeling that we should try Mount Everest. I know nothing is impossible, but one must not take things lightly and should have that courage to do it. And along with that, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. This birthday is very special because I wanted to take my parents to some beautiful places along with shrines. And those who are watching me, those who are connected to me personally on Instagram, my Instagram page, that's my personal Instagram page. You must have seen I took my parents to Kashmir. We attended a wedding of my online student. Then I took my parents to Goa. Then again, I got a chance to take my parents to Goa. Some people were asking me who takes parents to Goa. मम्मी पापा को गोवा लेके कौन जाता है? क्यों? वो कोई अलग लोग हैं. They used to take you in the lap, going to the meetings, going to the office, going to the parties. Why can't you take your parents to Goa? So just like that, I wanted to bring my parents to the shrine of Pashupatinath in Kathmandu. Right now, I'm in Nepal. So, and as I told you, because usually it happens when I make a plan to go out, like it's been happening for last 2 years. Whenever I make a plan to go out, all of a sudden UGC will bring the notices. This time it just happened when I was ready with my all the flights and everything else, and then the notice comes that okay, the exam is on 1st of March. So uh, I don't know exactly what to say. And before also, like some other students join us, I'll be telling you important topics. So right now what I'm doing here is I'm doing two duties: a duty to my parents, a duty to my students. Thank God, luckily in this hotel we have a proper Wi-Fi. The hotel is really good boutique. It's and all these people are really sweet, very helping guys. I was booking a cab for tomorrow, and I told my those people that I have a class, and they just helped me in 5 minutes. They were like, "Sir, please take your class." I told that my students have an exam on 1st of March. So once again, thank you so much for all the birthday wishes. It felt aesthetic, and I must tell you, you should come to this temple. It's the construction of the temple that is 17th century, and the story of the temple, like the existence of the temple, is till it starts from Dwapar Yug, the age of Lord Krishna. It is said that Pandavas were praying to meet the god, and they were in Kedarnath. So God appears in the form of a big heavy buffalo, and before it was disappearing, Bhim tries to hold the tail of that buffalo, and the head of that buffalo that appeared in this place, Kathmandu, that's called Pashupatinath. The most important thing that I would like to tell is work hard. You know why? It feels amazing when you see your parents are living that life you wanted to give them. जब आपके माँ बाप वो जिंदगी जी रहे होते हैं जो आप देना चाहते हो उनको, और वो आपकी वजह से है, तो एक अलग फील आता है, एंड आई वॉन्ट यू टू फील दैट. I pray, Lord Shiva, that you all get that feeling. Fulfill the dreams of your parents. 30 minutes back, they celebrated my birthday, some surprise arrangements, and then me, my mother, my father, we were dancing on some folk song. And I will be sharing these things on my personal Instagram page. Those who don't have my personal Instagram page, just search Professor Vineet Pandey, author. You'll find my page. There I put these things. So now almost 5 minutes introduction has gone, and those who know me, they know sir talk, and then we go for topic, because we are alive. We are not robots. And those who don't know, those who are watching it for the first time, for them the class is starting now. So let's talk about all those important topics you must revise before you go to the exam. and I'll be picking some topics which are mostly left by students. And I just made a notice that there are 50 topics. I will try my best that it goes more than 50. आपको 50 से ज़्यादा मिले. The rest of the room is messy. और जो ये tripod setting है, this is my gimbal Ohm 5. तो ये set है. Once again, thank you so much for all the birthday wishes. And in this, in exchange, I am sharing the blessings of Lord Shiva for all of you. May God bless you with your JRFs. May God bless you with that particular day where your parents are proud of you. Now let's talk about the topic. Take a pen and paper, start writing. The first thing we start with German literature. Please write down the name of Hermann Hesse, a Nobel awardee writer. Name of the book is Siddharth. Repeating once again, German author Hermann, Herman, Hesse. Hermann Hesse, famous work Siddharth. 90% people don't know about this book and they don't even read it. Siddharth has been asked in NET exam along with in Buddhist culture and Buddhist literature. Siddharth is a modern treatise. So you have to read the summary. Remember, it's very important. Hermann Hesse is a Nobel awardee. Second book, once again, German literature. Thomas Mann. Now you must be knowing that in GATE exam, transpose head was asked in, as I told you. This time for NET exam, along with transposed head by Thomas Mann, M-A-N-N, Thomas Mann, again a German writer. Transposed head, a work based on Katha Sarit Sagar, and a work which is directly connected to Girish Karnad's Hayavadana. So just remember this basic difference. Then go for Thomas Mann's Death in Venice. Death in Venice is a short story, but it's a beautiful story, deals with homosexuality. The leading character is an author and is suffering from author's block, mental block. Now, what is called author's block? Author's block is a situation when author doesn't get a new idea. Suppose you are a song composer. You have composed a beautiful song, but now you're not getting a new music, new idea. Sometimes we are hopeless and there is no inspiration. There are no ideas. This happens with people like creative people. You are not getting a new tune. You're not getting a new line, new poetry, new idea. So the author, he's suffering from author's block, goes to a place called Venice, falls in love with a boy, and the name of the boy is Tadzio. Tadzio उस लड़के का नाम है. Question है वो exam में. Those who remember Tadzio, it means you are ready for this thing. Now we have talked about three important things. अब ये पढ़ना है सबसे important. This is from French literature. Honor de Balzac. Honor de Balzac. सविता, आपका क्वेश्चन है ना कि 5 दिन में क्या क्या पढ़ना है. यही पढ़ना है, यही पढ़ना है. I'm going to tell you 50 topics. कोई बड़ी चीज नहीं है. I will not be surprised if out of these 50, 10 questions are there. I know this is possible. Write down this. Honor, Honore, Honor de Balzac, Balzac. Old Goriot is the name of the book. You can check the comments. Online students यहाँ पे नाम भी लिख रहे हैं उनका पूरा. They are prepared with this. Those who are watching it and you're an online student, it means you should know the details. So don't be happy you know the name of the book. Ask yourself if you are ready for the details. Watrin, Rastignac, one more character, Mr. Goriot. The last line of the book is Annonce Deus Maintenant, French book. Last line is in French, which means it's between you and me now. So make sure you remember this. This is very important. Then you have to go for another French writer, which is mostly avoided by people. They don't read him. This is a very important thing. The name of the writer is Victor Hugo. Victor Hugo. He comes from Romantic age. Victor Hugo's Les Miserables. It's very important book. Les Miserables has been converted into a Hollywood movie and it has won the Oscar award. So make sure you remember that. Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. Then comes another French writer, Alexander Dumas. Alexander Dumas, D-U-M-A-S. Alexander Dumas wrote a pulp fiction at that time which is known as the Three Musketeers. These Three Musketeers are very important. Now, as we are talking about the French and German literature, we should go for Australian literature. Make sure you have, please remember, you have read A.D. Hope. A.D. Hope is one of the greatest leading poet of Australia, famously known for the Book of Answers. Famously known for the Book of Answers. One of my student Vidhi Sharma, she says कि मैं साथ साथ डिनर बना रही हूँ. विधि नमक मसाला देख के डालना, ठीक है? Make sure you are cooking in a proper way. And please don't get, I suggest you can watch it later. You're making chapatis, so the fingers can take a burn. You see, I'm conscious about you. You have an exam, okay? So I suggest either you watch it later. No need to be live. Don't do it. Now, we are getting back to the topic again. A.D. Hope, famous work, Book of Answers, and in this particular poetry, Book of Answers, he answered Andrew Marvell to his coy mistress. Please remember this point. Andrew Marvell to his coy mistress. Then we go for another Australian writer, Judith Wright. Judith Wright is an environmentalist. So she is very famous for a short story, 80 Acre. 80 Acre. Somaya, you are also cooking. Please take care. Please take care. I suggest you. This is my honor that you people never miss my class. But please take care, okay? Both Sumaya and Vidhi. So, talking about once again the writer Judith Wright, very important environmentalist, one of the famous, writer, and make sure you remember that her short story. Like there are some other works also, the big works. Go for a short work, 80 Acre. Story of a woman. She has been promised that she will get a big patch of land, and then she keeps on dreaming what will she do when the moment she gets 80 acre land. That's very important. Then please read. See, as you're talking about all these Australian writers and all, remember this thing, we Australians have given us the idea of a resistance theory, just like we have negritude, just like we have the black panther theory, the black concept theory. Just like this, the Canadians have a theory. Jindy Warbeck movement comes from Australia. So once again, check Jindy Warbeck, because garrison mentality is a Canadian mindset. If you are preparing for net and you have not heard about these things, then my dear friends, this is something to be worried. 5 days का time है. Read garrison mentality, read negritude, read. This is very important point. What I wanted to say, Harlem Renaissance, and then this one. Then thank you, Vishal. Thank you so much. Okay, as it's my birthday, so a lot of wishes are coming, and I have to, work and help you first. I know your wishes are there for me. You can write your wishes in the comments. Let's study first, okay? Save your time. So we have talked about Australian. 8-10 टॉपिक हो गए हैं. अब चलते हैं रशिया. चलो रूस घूम के आते हैं. रशिया. Did you revise the short story by Leo Tolstoy and Anton Chekhov? These two writers are very important. And even if you don't go for the short stories by Leo Tolstoy, Anton Chekhov's story, don't miss that. You have to go for Grief, a short story where a person has lost his son. Also go for Cherry Orchard. Cherry Orchard is a classic. First is the character that was the last question of net exam, who died at the end of the Cherry Orchard, the man called First. Then in Leo Tolstoy, just read Anna Karenina and opening line quotation, just characters, no need to read anything detailed. He has also written a famous work, War and Peace. As I told you many a time that recently a professor from Maharashtra was arrested, and police said that he had a book called War and Peace. So they said War and Peace is an objectionable literature. That was a blunder. But you should know the title, War and Peace. Okay, no need to read it. Just remember the title, War and Peace. Anna Karenina, Vronsky, Oblonsky, or the opening line, happy families are all alike, those unhappy are unhappy in their own ways. This is very important. Last time, last to last exam, they surprised us with some questions from Russian literature, which is called the superfluous man concept. 90% people who are from small town, and they are from small town universities, they are not taught for these. Normally this is not in their syllabus, so their teachers also, they don't teach. So most of the students make a mistake. They don't even know about this, that in Russian literature the concept of superfluous man is one of the most important thing. So here you have to read Ivan Goncharov. The name of the famous book is Oblomov. You have to read that. Don't forget, this is very important. You can also read Ivan Bunin. He has also written this kind of book. Then In all these Russian writers, one writer is very important, and he's called Nikolai Gogol. Nikolai Gogol is not only famous for his own books, one of the classic short story Overcoat. Please remind this. ये note करते जाओ दोस्तों. All the new students who are watching it, note these things. All my online students, they know it. These are the most important things. They have been taught. उनको ये पहले से पता है. आप note करो. And for my online student, this is revision for you. That's why I have written 50 topics to be read and revised. See, Nikolai Gogol, Overcoat, very important. Remember the name of the character. Akaki Akovich, whatever the name is. Remember that. Same writer becomes very important when Jhumpa Lahiri, the post-colonial Indian writer, Jhumpa Lahiri, her real name is Nilanjana Sudeshna. When Jhumpa Lahiri wrote Namesake, she took the reference of Nikolai Gogol because in Namesake, we have a character, Nikhil Gogol. Nikhil Gogol, his surname Gogol has been taken from Nikolai Gogol. And that is also a very important point. Make sure you read that thing. Don't miss it. Then in University of Delhi, the famous writer Fyodor Dostoevsky has been prescribed, and there are 7 questions in UGC NET exam in last 10 years. 7 questions from one particular book. The name of the book is Crime and Punishment, written by Fyodor, Fyodor, Fyodor Dostoevsky. प्लीज रिमेंबर दिस थिंग्स. ये आपको रिवाइज करने हैं दोस्तों. इसमें जो कैरेक्टर है दोस्तोवस्की का, क्राइम एंड पनिशमेंट, हिज नेम इज रास्कोलनिकोव. रास्कोलनिकोव, ये याद रखना, बहुत बढ़िया. सी ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स आर राइटिंग इट. यस, ये याद कर लो. अब रशियन हो गया, जर्मन हो गया, फ्रेंच हो गया, अब चलते हैं इटालियन. यस, Italian writers are equally the part of his syllabus. In Jamia exam, if you remember, they talked about Italo Calvino. Italo Calvino, and they took the reference of magic realism. Read Italo Calvino, very important writer. He has written Invisible Cities, where in a postmodern narrative way, Marco Polo talks about 53 stories. The details I already have taught you. New students, please spend 5 minutes. 5 minutes इसको देखो, that will be more than enough. Then we have to go for Filippo Tommaso Marinetti. The name of the writer is big, Filippo Tommaso Marinetti. You can simply search Futurist Manifesto, just like Feminist Manifesto, then just like Cyborg Manifesto, Donna Haraway, just like that. Futurist Manifesto is by Filippo Tommaso Marinetti, Italian writer. Please remember that. Then comes Luigi Pirandello. Luigi Pirandello has been asked in NET exam for 2 to 3 times. Luigi, Luigi Pirandello. He is 1934 Nobel Award. One of his greatest work of metafiction is 6 Characters in Search of Author. Please check that. This is very important. ये जरूर check कर लेना, क्योंकि ये सबसे important work है. 6 Characters in Search of Author by Luigi Pirandello. One of the finest work dealing with metafiction. This is very important thing. Then if we go for now we are done with Italian writers also. And Umberto Eco, you can read The Open Road. The question was from in GATE exam. Umberto Eco, The Open Road. Now we are done with Italian writers. So French we have talked, Russian we have talked, German we have talked, Australian we have talked, Italian we have talked. कौन सा देश बचा? Canada. That's a message by Hemlata. Hemlata ने बोला कि सर आपने पहले you started your lecture before 8:20. You know why? This time my mobile time is different. I'm in Kathmandu, Nepal, and there is some 20 minutes gap, so I could not use the mathematical brain. मेरा maths 0 है, so I didn't know that. So what did I do? When I made the link, I told my team that within 20 minutes I'll start. So I felt that maybe the 20 minutes have been passed, and what if my students are waiting? So I just started. Sorry. यहाँ का टाइम, नेपाल का टाइम 15-20 मिनट का फर्क है. So थोड़ा कंफ्यूज हो गया. दिमाग की बत्ती इंग्लिश में चलती है, मैथ्स में 0 है. Anyway, so कौन सा कंट्री था? कनाडा. मार्गरेट एटवुड पढ़ लो, सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है. और सी, वैसे इन कैनेडियन लिटरेचर, इफ यू जस्ट रीड मार्गरेट एटवुड for Blind Assassin, for Cat's Eye, for Power Politics, along with all these things. Remember this thing, that Margaret Atwood has contributed in garrison mentality. So the man who helped her to develop the idea of garrison mentality is Northrop Frye. So two writers are more than enough for entire Canadian literature. Now, Margaret Atwood and Northrop Frye. Now, who is Northrop Frye? Northrop Frye is the man who came with the idea of myth criticism. Myth criticism is also known as archetype criticism. So Northrop Frye is also a Canadian writer. Just remember archetype criticism, the theory of anima, theory of animus, theory of persona, theory of shadow, then C.S. Junk's collective unconsciousness. This will be more than enough. Let's I think 20 plus topics हमने कर दिए हैं. Let's go for revision purpose only post-modern writers. Here you have to think about the names. How many of you have actually revised Kingsley Amis Lucky Jim? You know, there are two best people. Their friendship has been called the best literary friendship of 20th century England. 20th century England की best literary friendship, Kingsley Amis Philip Larkin. That was also the question of NET exam. The best friends of 20th century literary world. Kingsley Amis for writing Lucky Jim, Philip Larkin. Kingsley Amis, when he wrote Lucky Jim in 1954, his character Jim Dixon, the name of the character Jim Dixon is actually taken from Philip Larkin's address, Jim Dixon Street. And the book is dedicated to Larkin. When you read Philip Larkin, ambulance poetry is very important. Then the most important work, church going, very important. He says, I wonder who will be the last. There is a line also in exam that has been asked. There is a serious house on earth it is. Please check these lines. ये दोस्तों वो book बता रहा हूँ जो इतनी बार पेपर में आई है. That please remember this thing. Okay, don't miss it. प्रीतम बांकुरा यूनिवर्सिटी में आ नहीं पाया बट आई गॉट टू नो अबाउट प्रोफेसर दास इज ग्रेट नॉलेजेबल मैन. आई टेल यू पर्सनली, मैं बाद में बात करूंगा इसके बारे में. दूसरा सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट राइटर, सेकंड सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट राइटर पोस्ट मॉडर्न लिटरेचर. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू नो, स्पेशली द ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स, टेल मी हु हैज रिटन द प्राइम ऑफ मिस जीन ब्रूडी. द प्राइम ऑफ मिस जीन ब्रूडी. 5 seconds. टाइप करो आंसर. The prime of Miss Jean Brodie. Mural Spark, Shweta Ghosh, God bless you. All the students who don't know it, write down. This is the name Shweta has written, Muriel Spark. Shravya has also written the same thing. Shravya, Prem Kumar, सबने लिखना शुरू कर दिया है. Yes, Muriel Spark. The name of the book is The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie. One of the post-modern psychoanalysis book. One of the most important work. A teacher who has 6 small girls. She makes the group of the girl. Now, online student, what is the name of the group? क्या बताया था आपको मैंने? What did I teach you? 6 girls. What's the name of the group? Come on, use your brain. 6 girl group, yes, but I told you the name also. मैंने आपको नाम भी पढ़ाया है. Hurry up. I know, मुझे पता तूने रिवाइज नहीं किया होगा. Mostly people avoid these revisions. Saloni, may God bless you, Saloni. Saloni, JRF confirm है, नोट कर लो. Yes, Broody set, Broody, Miss Jean Broody, Broody set. The group was called Broody set, 6 girls. Very important. All the new students, please read that. This is very important. Then comes who has written The Loneliness of Long Distance Runner. The same writer has written Saturday Evening, Sunday Morning, Saturday Night, Sunday Morning. This writer is equally important to show you the postmodern pulp fiction genre, and it's a world classic now. The writer has written Saturday Night, Sunday Morning, and The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner. One of my best student, Oliva, West Bengal. Alan Silito, spelling थोड़ा सा ठीक करो. Alan Silito. The perfect spelling is by Shravya. Alan Silito, please check this. This is very important. ये मत miss करना. Don't miss that. This is very important. Read these 2 books. Saturday Night, Sunday Morning. Second book, Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner. Then you have to find out a writer, Carol Churchill. Very important writer. Carol Churchill, Top Girl, Serious Money. These books have been asked in NET exam. We are talking about postmodern writers. Mostly people avoid this. C.P. Snow. C.P. Snow wrote a famous work, The Two Nations. He talks about two different subjects, arts and science. So the idea of two nations theory, idea of two different world theory is actually by C.P. Snow. That is called Charles Percy Snow, his famous work. Read that. ये बहुत important है, exam में आया हुआ है. Who has written The Night in a Circus? Thank you, Sanju Gurjar. Thank you. The Night in a Circus, the postmodern magic realism writer. I told you, पहले भी कहा, this is very important. A Night in a Circus, bolo. No idea? Confused? Did you miss the only female writer from the magic realism concept? Angela Carter. And all the online students, please read it. तुमसे ये miss नहीं होना चाहिए था. Roshna, Sanjita, now you guys are answering. Angela Carter. This is very important. Don't miss it. It's very, very important. Then comes the 100 Years of Solitude. The 100. ये किस एज के पोइट नहीं है, ये पोस्ट मॉडर्न राइटर्स हैं, इनके नाम नोट करो. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके, Simran, I know you. Shravya is also offline student, I know you. Okay, now tell me this thing. Who has written the famous book 100 Years of Solitude? Marquez. Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Read 100 Years of Solitude. Repeated question of net exam. 8 बार question है. Then Love in the Time of Cholera. It's again very important. Once you are done with these postmodern writers, we have to go for Indian existential writer, the writer from Indian absurd literature, Indian existential literature. You must be knowing him. The name of the writer will be told by you. I will ask you a question. The idea of third theater. Who has written Ebong Indrajit? The idea of third theater. Thank you so much, Nadira. Yes, प्रेम कुमार राजगोपाल. प्रेम कुमार राजगोपाल मुझसे बहुत नाराज है. इनका यूट्यूब पे पब्लिक डिफेमेशन टाइप कमेंट आया था. थैंक यू प्रेम कुमार फॉर ज्वाइनिंग द लाइव क्लास. वहां पे लिखा था ना मैंने, कहा लाइव क्लास होगी. बट प्रेम कुमार, मुझे पता प्रेज नहीं करोगे कि सर नेपाल जाके भी क्लास लगाते हैं. वैसे मैंने मालदीव से भी क्लास ली है. व्हेन आई वाज इन मालदीव्स आई टॉट देयर आल्सो. The first Indian to teach English literature from Nepal, right? The first Indian to teach English literature from Maldives. Maybe thousands of years history, if not first, at least second. Anyway, so along with these names, Badal Sarkar, idea of third theater, very important. As Nadira has wished me birthday, Nadira Babbar's Yahudi Ki Ladki. Remember this title. There are chances they may ask you the questions. Along with these things, in Greek writings and other Roman writings, or we simply say ancient writings, note it down. आपको कौन कौन पढ़ना है? You have to read Aristophanes' famous work Lysistrata. You have to read Aristophanes' famous work Lysistrata. Very important. The first ever book that created a war between man and woman. Technically, that has been called the sex war. So all the men, they are going to the war. The war is going on, Peloponnesian War. All the women, they are unhappy. Every day their husbands are getting killed, their sons are getting killed, their brothers are getting killed. So they collectively come and decide that we will ask all the male to stop the war. They are fighting unnecessary war. And if they don't listen to us, and if they go for the war, we will not love them emotionally, physically. Like we will not be let them. We won't let them touch us. We won't let them be with us, and we will not serve them. यानी कि हम अलग हो जाएंगे. So all these men, they also say that we don't care. So first sex war that starts. Very important work. Don't forget it. Okay. सोनम, कल सुबह 3 बजे मैं नेपाल में उठूंगा, कैसा लगेगा यार? अब अनएक्सपेक्टेड है ना, एग्जाम एक दिन पहले आ गया. यू वर थिंकिंग एग्जाम पोस्टपोन होगा. अच्छा, दूसरी चीज, अगर आपको लग रहा है सर 3 बजे उठे, काश सर 3 बजे उठते तो मेरा जेआरएफ होता. मैं नहीं उठूंगा तो आपका जेआरएफ नहीं होगा. 3 बजे उठना इज अ मोटिवेशन टू देम जो नहीं उठते हैं. देर आर अप्रॉक्स 200 स्टूडेंट्स अप्रॉक्स who text me early morning, 3 a.m. Good morning, sir. I'm studying. They don't even wait for my answer. Sometimes I reply them after 20 days. But when I reply them after 20 days, I scroll, I check. There are students who are getting up at 3 a.m. Okay. So not all the coaches have to run faster to teach you run fast. I have a personal life. So if I'm not able to get up that 3 a.m., then don't say, अरे यार सर 3 बजे उठे नहीं. सर उठते तो मेरा JRF हो जाता. उठो पढ़ो यार. Who motivated me? Nobody. At least I'm motivating you. Okay, don't wait for me. The situations, circumstances take a turn. We were thinking net exam will go after 10th of March. I was getting other informations. Okay. So that's was the reason, and then all these tickets were already booked. Otherwise, I would have cancelled my plan. But you know, India, if I cancel all my plans, they will not refund me. And approx all these flight tickets and hotel tickets, I already spent 1.5 lakh. So imagine, I hope you understand. Okay. और 3 बजे उठ के मैं कोई नया नहीं पढ़ाता हूँ. That okay, 3 बजे I am looking like a Michael Jackson and teaching something. I teach same thing. It's just that students get motivation that okay, my teacher is live at 3 a.m. Okay. So tension nahi lene ka, or don't take my words negatively. This is how I motivate. I sometimes speak blunt truth. So all the smart people understand, sir, साफ सच बोल रहे हैं, साफ साफ बोल रहे हैं. कुछ लोगों को बुरा लग सकता है. खैर, एक बहुत अच्छी लाइन है इन हिंदी. कुछ यूं मैंने जिंदगी को आसान सा कर लिया. कुछ यूं मैंने जिंदगी को आसान सा कर लिया. किसी से माफी मांग ली, किसी को माफ कर दिया. ठीक है. तो बातों को दिल पे मत लो, और दिमाग में तो एकदम मत लो. दिमाग में तो नोट्स आने चाहिए, क्लासेस आनी चाहिए. ठीक है. और दिल पे किसी को ही मत लो. दिल में सिर्फ उन लोग को लो जिनसे मोहब्बत है, जिनसे प्यार है. हर किसी को दिल में मत लो. इग्नोर. आर्ट ऑफ इग्नोरिंग. द मोमेंट यू लर्न आर्ट ऑफ इग्नोरिंग, योर बीपी, योर टेंशन, योर प्रेशर विल गो डाउन. सो कोई कुछ भी कह रहा है, बोलने दो यार. उसका मन है, उसका दिमाग है. Especially you have studied structuralism. So when someone comes and says a bad word, look at the structure, the reason why that person is using language, what is language competence, what is language performance. Okay. Chalo, get back to the topic. 2 minute ka rest ho gaya. Get back to the topic. Now we have talked about modern writers. We have talked about the Indian modern theatre. In Indian modern theatre, ek kaam jarur karna. This is very important. In Indian modern theatre, this is very important. Please do not compromise Girish Karnad. Girish Karnad sir recently died, like 2 years, I think. Please don't compromise him, okay? Girish Karnad's Hai Vadana is very important. Tughlaq, Hitina, Hunja, these kind of works are very important. Tale Danda. Check them. Even if you check them for 2 minutes on Wikipedia, that will be fine. Okay? Something is better than nothing. So if you think I don't know these things, don't get frustrated. Check them for at least 2 minutes. Okay. Then second writer that you don't have to compromise, Vijay Tendulkar. Do not compromise that writer. Komal, this time you have a JRF. Save this recording. This time you have a JRF, Komal. I can give you a guarantee. Second writer is Vijay Tendulkar. Sakharam Binder, Ghasiram Kotwal, and Silence the Court is in session. 3 books करके जाना. Summary, just check the summary from Wikipedia. You will be safe. Then Mahesh Dattani, Dance Like a Man, and Final Solution. Just do these things. You will not need anyone else. Trust me. ये करके जाओ. Then Habib Tanveer Charan Das Chor. I have narrated the entire story on YouTube. You can put it on YouTube, Habib Tanveer Charan Das Chor, or Indian Modern Theatre lecture by Vineet Pandey. You will find it. Don't miss these things. Then comes the Indian criticism part, Indian aesthetics. Please remember, Acharya Kuntak Vakrokti Siddhant. There is a question last night exam. Acharya Kuntak Vakrokti Siddhant, there are chances. Bharat Muni, Spota theory, that's very important. Then Bhartrihari, and the idea of Sfutan utterance. Sorry, Bharat Muni and Bhartrihari. That's very, very important. And once you are done with these things, Natya Shastra, 8 important ras, then how those rasas are reflecting, which is 9th ras, then 10th and 11th. Remember this. Shanti ras, Vasalya ras, bhakti ras. Shantam, Vasalya, bhakti. Remember these rasas, very, very important. Don't miss that. Then please remember Abhigyan Shakuntalam title, at least books written by Kalidas, so that you can understand. When you go for Sphota theory, as I have taught about J.L. Austin, Sanjita has written it, speech act theory. Speech act theory का reference याद रखना, that's very, very important. Now, once we go for Indian Dalit writings in Jamia exam entrance plus in GATE exam, in both exam there were Dalit questions, Dalit literature questions, which is not a Dalit autobiography. There was the direct answer, Mulk Raj Anand. There was, please remember, Baburao Bagul, very important. Then Daya Pawar sir, very important. Then Om Prakash Valmiki Juthan, very important. Baby Kamble, the prison we broke, Baby Tai Kamble is very, very, very important. Sharmila Rage, writing caste, writing gender. Then Baba Saheb Ambedkar, annihilation of caste. ये सारे नाम टिप्स पे करके जाना. Then I have already taught you the Dalit Panther movement. आपको पढ़ाया है मैंने. अन्ना भाव साठे का रेफरेंस पढ़ाया है. I've taught that अन्ना भाव साठे reference. I've taught the Dalit Panther movement, DS4 movement, Dalit Social Sangharsh Samaj Samiti. I have given you all those latest updated things. Even in LGBT. I taught in class, remember Donna Haraway, Cyborg Manifesto? They asked it. So please remember in post-humanism, now they are asking the questions from cyborg literature, which I already have told that this is the new thing. So please write down the name of Donna, D-O-N-N-A, Donna Haraway, H-A-R-R-A-W-Y. I understand that for small state university or village background students, these topics are something unheard, but you have to. Then who actually studied the anal erotic structure of language? Ivakovsky. This also I have taught in offline. This is highly advanced. I think I have just given a brief lecture in online of gender study. Ivakovsky, that's very, very important. Please remember Mary Shelley for Frankenstein because that technically becomes the first scientific fiction. पोस्ट ह्यूमनिज्म पे लेक्चर्स डाले मैंने है ना. चेक जेंडर स्टडीज, जूडिथ बटलर, इवाकोव्स्की. When I prepared those notes, I actually prepared it for online. But yes, in offline, it is highly elaborated. Elaborated थोड़ा ज़्यादा है. Offline is, you know, for 2.5 hours, 3 hours, they are in front of me, like Shravya, Simran. So they can talk to me directly. In online, the only problem is I cannot talk to you directly. And it's practically not possible to take a lot of calls every day. So that's the only difference. But in offline, when a student comes with a question and I have the answer, I answer that. I invite you to join offline for knowledge, even if you're a JRF. There are so many people, those who have joined us, qualifying NET, qualified JRF, came for knowledge. That's how we go to PhD interviews, we want to answer them. Sir, I was teaching, but I was not able to teach in a confident way. My heart said I should have knowledge. तो बहुत से नेट JRF बच्चे वैसे आ जाते हैं, पढ़ने आ जाते हैं. If you're willing to be the part of offline and want to have knowledge, see, I'm in Nepal, I have no notebook, nothing. There are people, they will come on screen, they will do like this, okay, okay, okay. There are people, they will look at the left screen, okay, okay. I'm not doing that. The room is messy, otherwise I would have shown you the room also. It's just messy. See? There is a mirror in the background. No help, nothing. I am just teaching, talking, and there I can talk about anything. Because when I studied, there were no sidekicks, no shortcuts. Anyway, but I suggest you, if you actually want to have knowledge, come for offline batch. Simran contact जोन पढ़ाया था मैंने, याद है ना, जामिया में आया हुआ है. It was in Jamia. So, and all those who are from farthest places, different states, there are great hostel facilities. It's a safe area. I personally take responsibility of the students who come from other states. You have seen me playing cricket. मैं अपने स्टूडेंट्स के साथ क्रिकेट खेलता हूँ. सिमरन श्रव्या इनको पूछो, हम हंसी मजाक करते हैं, हम डांस करते हैं वहाँ पे, हम पढ़ाई करते हैं हंसी मजाक में. Anna, you are very close. Roorkee is not far away. We have students from South India. Complete Northeast, we have students. Don't worry. In case you want to come, you can join us. Don't worry. I will take responsibility. I can speak to your parents. See, I understand. Girls want to study. बट फैमिली नहीं भेजना चाहती है, कौन जाएगा कौन जाएगा. द सेम स्टोरी ऑफ जूडिथ शेक्सपियर, विलियम शेक्सपियर. William Shakespeare became William Shakespeare because he was William Shakespeare, a boy. Judith Shakespeare, just because a girl. Like one of you have written that I am from Vishakhapatnam. We have students, two students from Andhra. Andhra Pradesh से दो बच्चे हैं क्लास में. They are also preparing for Telangana set. One name is Ramesh, another is I think Mahesh. Sorry, Mahesh is from Maharashtra. We have students. Vatsala, just tell them you can come. Just come and we will send our manager to pick. Okay, don't worry. In that case, I will take responsibility for offline batch. आप आ सकते हो. अच्छा, second thing. चलो, get back to the topic. So we have talked about almost 40-50 writers, but कुछ और add करते हैं. मनदीप, you have written कि पानीपत से भी है कोई. पूरा हरियाणा भरा हुआ है. 40 के आसपास बच्चे सिर्फ हरियाणा के हैं. कौन सा मेरा गाना था, मेरा बालम थानेदार चलावे जिप्सी. जब हमने फाइनल फंक्शन किया था ना, एक गाना रिपीट पे चल रहा था, रिपीट पे. तो आप समझ सकते हो कितने हरियाणवी स्टूडेंट वहाँ. तो एनीवे, गेटिंग बैक टू द टॉपिक. अब करते हैं बात कुछ उन टॉपिक्स की जो नॉर्मली स्टूडेंट्स इग्नोर कर जाते हैं. जैसे कि बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स, दे डोंट इवन नो दैट बोकाशियोज डी कैमेरॉन शुड बी एटलीस्ट नोन. Boccaccio Decameron क्यों जानना है? Because Boccaccio Decameron is actually based on the idea of travelogue, the idea of multiple short story arranged, and this inspired Canterbury Tales. One of you has written that offline class बहुत costly है. First thing, if you're an online student, आपको डिस्काउंट फटाक से मिलता है. यू गेट डिस्काउंट इन ईजी वे इफ यू आर ऑलरेडी एन ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट. आपको शायद पता नहीं होगा, मे बी दे डिडंट टेल इट, बट येस, इफ यू आर एन ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट यू गेट अ बिग डिस्काउंट डायरेक्टली. तो मिल जाएगा. ओके ओके. Boccaccio Decameron. Second book that you have to remember, that's again very important, Dante's famous work Divine Comedy. 3 parts. The first one, Hell, Inferno. Second one, Purgatorio. Third one is Paradiso. Dante's Divine Comedy, very important. Along with these things, एक और वर्क देख लो, राइटर है Ovid's Metamorphosis, the first ever love story. Ovid's Metamorphosis is a first kind of love story. So all those As You Like It, all those Orlando Furioso, all those as you Robert Greene's love stories, they technically come from Ovid's Metamorphosis. Then the first idea of Ariosto's Orlando, that's also very important. The first idea of Ariosto's Orlando. Orlando inspired Robert Greene to write Orlando Furioso. Then Orlando was picked by Virginia Woolf to write a book on homosexuality. So these are the writers. Kafka is very important. Yes, French Kafka is very important. If you have not read French Kafka Metamorphosis, it's a big blunder. If you have not read Bertolt Brecht's Mother Courage and The Good Women of Sichuan, big blunder. If you have not read Virginia Woolf, A Room of One's Own, Lighthouse, Mrs. Dalloway, big blunder. If you have not read Harold Pinter, Birthday Party, Room, Caretaker का क्वेश्चन है जामिया में, ये बताता हूँ मैं. ये अगर आपने नहीं पढ़ा है, बिग मिस्टेक. Gustave Flaubert, Madame Bovary, if you have not read, big mistake. If you are in other classes and they have not taught you, so this is the time that these are the classics. पढ़ लो, खुद पढ़ लो. Don't be dependent on teachers. Eklavya didn't need Dronacharya. He respected Dronacharya. Okay, मेरे हाथ से हिला है टेबल. I thought भूकंप आ गया को. अभी भागने वाला था जस्ट. अगर मुझे कुछ और हिलता दिखता ना, मैंने यहाँ से भाग जाना था. आया तो नहीं है इंडिया में. आई रिमेम्बर एक बार हम कैसे भागे थे जीएस राय में. हम लोग दिल्ली में थे, तो सब लोग भाग रहे थे. तो मैंने खिड़की से देखा नींद में, क्या हो गया है, सब भाग रहे थे. तो दैट इज कॉमन स्पिरिट. सब भाग रहे थे, हम भी भाग रहे थे, और भाग रहे भाग रहे भाग रहे, भाई तू क्यों भाग रहा है पता नहीं, भाई तू क्यों भाग रहा है पता नहीं, सब भाग रहे हैं, पता किसी को नहीं है क्यों भाग रहा है। ठीक है, फिर एक दो आदमी चिल्ला रहे भागो भागो भूकंप है भूकंप है। फिर हम बहुत तेज भागे, फिर हम रोड पे चले गए। तो दैट वाज माय फर्स्ट एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ रनिंग, भागो भागो भागो। उसके बाद 3-4 घंटे वी वर देयर ओनली, बिकॉज people, they this is the time, this was the time of rumors, and that was midnight. So we were not even able to see our friends. We were focusing on sound. दोस्तों की आवाज से पता चला था क्या चाहिए दोस्त है, ये हरियाणवी है, राजस्थानी है। तो कोई कह रहा भाई 2 घंटे बाद दोबारा आता है, then someone says it repeats after 2 hours, the tremors will repeat in 2 hours। हम लोग रात भर बाहर बैठे रहे। Then I got habitual. Delhi is a bhukam earthquake prone area. So now it's small, and moreover you can't run. There's so many buildings. कहाँ भागे? Anyway, chalo, I believe I have given more than 50 writers. I will try to be live tomorrow also, and tomorrow I will focus on literary theory terms. कोशिश करूंगा 30-40 terms छोटे छोटे explanation के साथ। I'll try my best to go for theories explanation. 281 students are there, 167 likes. Why? दोस्तों लाइक करो यार, कमाल है। सी यू लाइक रील्स, यू लाइक फनी वीडियोज, एजुकेशन की भी वैल्यू कर दो थोड़ी सी। Some respect to education. Come on, guys. And all those students who are reading and preparing, I have to tell you last two things before I disconnect this. I want to tell you this. Don't be scared. You have your exam. Are you going to leave your exam? Are you going to skip your exam? पेपर छोड़ दोगे क्या? पेपर स्किप करोगे? नहीं करोगे ना? तो 5 दिन और हैं, बेस्ट लगा दो बेस्ट। I am in Nepal with my family. I have a simple logic to ignore you. I'm still trying to do my duty. आपका टीचर आपके लिए अपनी ट्रिप छोड़ के आधे घंटे बैठा है। डिनर, माई फैमिली इज ऑल्सो वेटिंग फॉर द डिनर। आई टोल्ड देम जस्ट डोंट डिस्टर्ब मी, लेट मी फिनिश इन माई क्लास, आई विल कम टू यू, विल गो फॉर डिनर। सो व्हाट स्टॉप्स यू? व्हाट स्टॉप्स यू टू क्रैक JRF? इसी बार करना है, ढंग से करना है, इवन इफ यू डोंट नो दोज पीपल व्हाट आई हैव मेंशन्ड, read them for 2-3 minutes. If you're not able to revise, if you're not able to mug up everything, no problem, at least check that. आंखों के आगे आना चाहिए. You must have your eyes on those things, because my dear friends, something is better than nothing. Something is better than nothing. And net exam doesn't have negative marking. There is no negative marking. What if you have just revised for 2 minutes and it clicks? आपने 2 मिनट रिवीजन किया, यू जस्ट रिवाइज इट फॉर 2 मिनट्स, और एग्जाम में क्लिक कर गया कि अरे सर ने बोला था लाइव क्लास में ऑप्शन सी सही लग रहा है, योर गेस, आपके तुक्के सही लग जाएंगे। सो गो टू द एग्जाम विद ऑलमोस्ट रिविजन ऑफ एवरीथिंग। डोंट लीव एनी पेज, एनी पर्टिकुलर नोटबुक अनचेक। स्किमिंग करो, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, जो चील की नजर होती है, मैं भूल गया उसको इंग्लिश में वर्ड। स्किमिंग करो, स्किमिंग, जल्दी 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 देखो, ठीक है। और बहुत जल्दी से मोटिवेशन के साथ अब पढ़ने चले जाओ, डिनर करो, मम्मी पापा को नमस्ते करना, अपने मम्मी पापा से बोलो सर को आशीर्वाद दें, सर का आज बर्थडे है, तो मम्मी पापा से मेरे लिए आशीर्वाद जरूर बोलना, उनके आशीर्वाद मुझे चाहिए। और 281 में से 233 लाइक हैं, तो जो ये 50 कंजूस लोग हैं, तुम्हें आज डरावने सपने आएंगे, हॉरर। तुम्हें सपना आएगा एग्जाम में कि तुम्हें कुछ भी नहीं आ रहा है, डोंट वरी, सपना आएगा, एग्जाम में आएगा नहीं, तो लाइक कर दो। बाय बाय।